Have you ever wanted to overthrow a government, but you just did not have the stomach for military coups, bayonets, or wearing camouflage in tropical heat? Good news! The 20th century called and it left a PDF. Welcome back to Clearly Ambiguous. Today we are diving deep into billion-dollar international franchise that is strategic non-violent resistance, or depending on which state security apparatus you ask on Tuesday, weaponized foreign-backed regime change. So if you want to collapse an autocratic regime or just wildly inconvenience an elected government in 21st century, you do not need tanks. You need three things. One, a very catchy logo, ideally featuring a stylized closed fist. And number two, an endless supply of red paint and street theater. And three, a wire transfer from a non-profit registered in Washington, D.C. or Geneva. Today we look at how Serbian protest masterminds, shadowy intelligence firms like Stratfor and global activist networks turned peaceful civil dissent into franchised geopolitical weapon. Put on your tinfoil hats, grab your NGO grant applications, and let us get into it. To understand how non-violence became franchised commodity, we have to start in Serbia in the year 2000. Slobodan Milosevic is running the show, and a group of students forms a movement called Otpor, which literally translates to resistance. Now, Otpor did not try to outgun the army, that is amateur hour. Instead, they used a revolutionary new doctrine developed by political scientist named Gene Sharp, dismantle the state pillars of support by making them look stupid. Enter Sraja Popovic, co-founder of Otpor, professional prankster and a future CEO of International Revolution. Otpor put a picture of Milosevic on a rusty oil drum, placed it in a busy shopping district, left a baseball bat next to it, and walked away. People started beating the drum. The police showed up, panicked, and had to arrest the oil drum. It was brilliant, it was hilarious, and most importantly, it caught the attention of foreign policy establishment in Washington. Because while the students provided the enthusiasm, guess who provided the logistical caffeine? The National Endowment for Democracy, the International Republican Institute, and USAID or USAID. Now, for legal reasons, the NED is an independent non-profit funded by the US Congress. But back in 1991, Alan Weinstein, one of the guys who wrote the law creating NED, told the Washington Post, a lot of what we do today was done covertly 25 years ago by CIA. Translation: why send spooky guys in trench coats to orchestrate a messy military coup when you can just send two nice guys from DC to run a weekend workshop in a hotel ballroom on how to make your protest go viral? After Milosevic fell, Popovic realized hey, this is not just a local victory, this is scalable business model. So in 2004, he founded Canvas, Center for Applied Nonviolent Action and Strategies. Think of it as Harvard Business School for activist overthrow. Over the next decade, Canvas trained activists from over 50 countries. 2003, in Georgia, Canvas trained youth groups. Result, the Rose Revolution. 2004, Ukraine, the Orange Revolution. 2011, Egypt, the Arab Spring. 2015, in Venezuela, opposition leaders popping into Belgrade for weekend retreats. Now, Popovic always insists, we do not export revolution, we just teach tactics. You cannot import 1 million angry people into the street, and he's right. You cannot manufacture genuine public outrage out of thin air. But what you can do is give the rage a project manager, a press team, and a social media strategy. Then came 2012. Enter WikiLeaks and Stratfor leaks. Stratfor was a private geopolitical intelligence firm based in Texas, catering to Fortune 500 companies and government agencies. Basically, corporate CIA. When hackers leaked Stratfor internal emails, guess who popped up as star informant? Codename SR501, Sroja Popovich. Leaked email showed Popovich feeding Stratfor analysts operational updates on Venezuelan opposition tactics, protest routes, vulnerability assessments of various regimes, so on and so forth. So, is Canvas a noble group of peaceful democratic defenders, or is it an outsourced soft power contractor helping Western interests swap out inconvenient leaders? Why not both? It is called multitasking. Now, how does global framework translate into domestic politics across modern democracies, including Southeast Asia? When activists organize massive street movements, they are not just improvising anymore. They apply core principles borrowed from these exact non-violent frameworks. 1. Do not fight over big abstract ideologies. Find everyday friction points like crop prices, fuel costs, local civil rights. Make it personal. 2. Paralyze infrastructure until government is forced to talk. 3. Build an international communications bridge so that the state cannot shut down the narrative. When massive sustained movements took over highways, city borders in recent years, state intelligence agencies did not just see local grievances, they saw the playbook. Remember the infamous protest toolkit accidentally tweeted by Greta Thunberg during the Indian farmers' protest? To the local organizers and activists, the toolkit was just a practical instruction sheet on hashtags, timings, and press contacts. To the state, however, it was a smoking gun evidence of foreign-funded color revolution matrix involving international NGOs, offshore influencers, billionaire philanthropists like George Soros trying to destabilize an elected sovereign government. Which brings us to the ultimate paradox of modern dissent. Let us map this out. If you are a state or government, elections are the only valid source of democratic legitimacy. Therefore, if a group uses mass street blockades, economic paralysis, international press, campaigns to force a government to roll back laws passed by a parliament that is undemocratic destabilization. It is a soft coup. However, if you are an activist or civil society group, voting once every 5 years is not enough. Peaceful protests, civil disobedience, and mass pressure are fundamental rights under the Constitution. If the government overreaches the street, is the ultimate check and balance. And this is where the satire meets the reality. When international players, whether it is NED, Open Society Foundations, Western intelligence adjacent firms, inject money and training into this mix, the line between grassroots democratic rights and foreign-directed regime change disappears completely. It leaves both sides with the perfect excuse. Governments can call every legitimate local strike a funded CIA plot. Foreign agencies can hide their geopolitical meddling behind human rights training. And in the end, what is the takeaway? If you ever decide to launch a nonviolent struggle, 1. Keep your logo clean. 2. Keep your demands simple. And 3. For the love of everything, if anyone offers you a consulting gig with a Texas-based intelligence firm, clear your browser history. Because in 21st century, the line between saving democracy and weaponizing dissent is not a wall. It is just a line item in a foreign budget. I'm your host. This was Clearly Ambiguous, and until next time, remember to keep your protests non-violent and your toolkits untweeted. And your funding domestic. Hit subscribe, like the video, please share it with at least one more person so the algorithm helps us too, because it's not helping us. And drop your hot takes in comments below. Thank you for watching.